Seattle, Washington, January 7th, 2026. 3 hours. That was all it took for a decision that felt very NFL on paper to turn into a moment that made an entire fan base stop and reflect. Early Tuesday morning, the Seattle Seahawks officially moved on from a veteran defensive player to clear space for a developmental plan centered around Derick Hall. In a league governed by salary caps, depth charts, and weekly urgency, it should have been nothing more than a routine roster transaction, a familiar piece of football math. But it didn't end there. Just 3 hours later, the veteran defender, a player who had quietly taken on some of the heaviest responsibilities over multiple seasons, spoke out. There was no anger, no accusation, just a calm, definitive statement that brought Seahawks Nation to a standstill. "I gave the Seahawks my entire heart, without noise, without demands, without excuses. I worked in silence, endured in silence, and let responsibility speak for me. But there are moments that force you to confront the truth about how your value is being measured. Today was one of those moments. I will continue to walk this path, but Seattle will no longer be a place I return to." To understand why those words resonated so deeply, you have to understand the road he traveled. He was never a highlight reel star, never a player fueled by the spotlight. He was a defender built for quiet collisions, the one keeping structure on the back end, providing support when the system bent, standing exactly where he needed to be when chaos erupted. The numbers don't sparkle, but they tell a story of endurance. Hundreds of defensive snaps, consistent special teams duty, and countless practices no camera ever captured. In Seattle, he was known as locker room glue, punctual, prepared, willing to do whatever the team asked. According to those close to the situation, he believed he had done enough to remain through the most critical stretch of the season. That's why it was the timing of the decision, not merely the decision itself, that cut the deepest. From the team's perspective, it was planning for the future. From a veteran's perspective, it was meaning. The reaction from Seahawks fans reflected that divide. There was no explosion of anger, no finger-pointing, just understanding and respect for a player who chose to close a chapter with self-respect. Many described the statement as beautiful, not because it burned bridges, but because it allowed him to leave on his own terms. There was no public rebuttal, no follow-up explanation, just silence. And now the story has a name. That player is D'Anthony Bell, a safety who spent much of his career handling the least glamorous work of Seattle's defense. No noise, no demands, just work, until the moment arrived that forced him to say goodbye in his own way. In the NFL, sometimes silence is the clearest acknowledgement of a career built on quiet sacrifice.